Hey everybody, it's your favorite bearded lady bear here, Sean, without kind counseling. And I wanted to take a moment to talk about comparing ourselves to others. Because I have started to find, the longer I've been working as a therapist, that this is probably one of the biggest bugaboos when it comes to self defeating, negative self perception, negative self talk. Is not exclusively rooted in this, but there are, for a lot of folks, this constant comparison of myself to others and only understanding our value or our worth as we stand in relationship to somebody else. And where they are in their journey or where they are in their lives. And that robs us so much of our own joy, of being able to really feel and truly experience what it is that we have right now in the moment, when we're going through and experiencing whatever it is that we have right now. It steals the quality of life component for us when all we can do is sit back and figure out what it is that we don't have, especially when we look at somebody else's life or see where somebody else is on their journey. Nobody's journey through their life is without its damage and without its problems. And we can't always know what somebody else has been through, right? I mean, I hear a lot of folks talk about using social media in particular as a way to sort of gauge like where they are versus where somebody else is. And the truth is these are often, sanitized, cleaned up versions of ourselves that we're putting ourselves forward, and we're not advertising all of the hardship and difficulty that we went through, or all the trials that we went through, or all the pain, the suffering. Like these aren't the things that we typically put out there on Facebook. I mean, some do, and some do it in a way that is intended to be educational or inspirational. But for the most part, what we're seeing is the Cliff's Notes version of someone's life. We're not seeing the full reality of what's going on there. And so to compare ourselves when we don't have a whole story, or when we don't understand all the components, when we don't really realize what somebody else has been through, is problematic. But beyond that, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. That person's life, that person's hopes and goals and dreams and joys, that's about them. That's about their walk. I can't live their walk. None of us can live anybody else's journey, right? The only journey I have any control over is my own. The only journey you have any control over is your own. And so the the comparison piece, the sort of only understanding our own boundaries or our own bearings based on what somebody else is doing, is erasing ourselves. It removes our worth and makes it so that we are only relevant or we are only worthwhile as we sit in relation to someone else. That's never going to bring us happiness. That's never going to make us feel fulfilled or help us to understand what joy is really like. How do you define happiness? What is your journey about? What is it that you want in this world, regardless of what anybody else has or doesn't have? That's not about you. This is about you figuring out who and what it is that you are, and who and what it is that you want. Anyways, just some thoughts. If you find yourself really getting lost in that comparison loop, it might be time to start to recognize that and start working on shutting that talk down and reminding yourself that you have value and you are worthy just as you are, regardless of what anybody else sees in you, thinks about you, or is. That's it. Bear hugs, beloved. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day and weekend. Please continue to take care of yourself. Stay inside. Stay inside. And bear hugs. Talk to you later.